In this video, we're talking fractions, but now we're talking multiplying fractions by a whole number. So logically what that means is, let's say we want to do a half times 12. Well, we can think of multiplication like using the word of. So instead of saying a half times 12, I'm going to say half of 12. So that's the same as multiplying. So if I represented 12 with a bunch of dots, so I have 12 dots, what's half of 12 dots? Well, if I just split that in half, half of 12 dots is 6 dots. So that's the answer to that. So that means if you take a half and you multiply it by 12, you get 6. So that's one way to think about it. Another way is with repeated addition. So we know multiplication is just repeated addition. So it's like I have half 12 times. So it's like I have a half plus a half plus a half plus a half plus a half. And we're going to go 12 times. So that's going to keep going 12 times. So half 12 times, that's just going to be 6. Because if you think about it, like every pair is going to make 1. Another pair is going to make 1. So altogether you have 12. So that's kind of like 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So that's a couple different ways to think about multiplying a whole number by a fraction. The other more algorithm-y way is to turn 12 into a fraction by putting it over 1 and then simply multiplying straight across. So 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2. 12 divided by, that's what a fraction is, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So it's a bunch of different ways to get the same answer. So that's how we multiply whole numbers by fractions. Okay, multiplying two fractions together. Let's say we had a half times a quarter. So we already know what the answer is going to be because I just showed you how to multiply fractions. You just multiply straight across. So we know the answer is going to be 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. But let's think about it logically. Let's get our chocolate bar back. So we got our chocolate bar. Let me rephrase this by saying half of a quarter. Because remember I said of could be multiplication. Half of a quarter. So what it's telling me is I have a quarter of a chocolate bar. So let me take my chocolate bar and split it into 4 equal sections. Now, there I have a quarter of my chocolate bar. But actually, I only have half of a quarter. So I don't even have that full chocolate. I don't even have that full quarter. So it's telling me I have a half of a quarter. So it's actually like I'm splitting this quarter of a chocolate bar into 2. So I only get half of that quarter. So I only get that much of a chocolate bar. But I can't really tell how much that is because all these pieces of the chocolate bar are different sizes. So I need to split these in half too, so I can keep my chocolate bar pieces all the same size. Now I can see my chocolate bars in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. And I only get one of those pieces. That's what half of a quarter means. So that's what multiplying fractions is like. And let's just try one more. Because now you know the algorithm. You don't have to show a picture every time. And sometimes pictures are tough to draw for those. Let's say we had 2/3 times 1/4. So I could visually show, again, I have a quarter of a chocolate bar. But I only get 2/3 of that quarter. So I have to split that chocolate bar into thirds. And I only get 2 of them. So I have to split every quarter into thirds. So now I can see that I'm going to get 2 out of 12 pieces of my chocolate bar. So, which we could get by multiplying. So 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Now this one brings up an interesting issue. It's not interesting, but an issue. this is not in lowest terms, 2/12. We always want to have fractions in lowest terms. So actually what we can do here is this chocolate bar, if I just highlight every other piece here, I can see that I could actually have split this chocolate bar into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. So see how my chocolate bar is in 6 equal sections, and I just am eating one, or I just get 1/6 of that chocolate bar. So you can actually write 2/12 as 1/6. And a way to do that is if you can divide your fraction top and bottom by the same number, you always should do that. So I was able to divide this fraction by 2 top and bottom, and that's how I got 1/6. 1/6 is the same thing as 2/12. So here's some other examples of reducing fractions. If you have 5/20, you can see that top and bottom are both divisible by 5. So that would leave you with 1/4. If you had 8/12, you can see top and bottom are both divisible by 4. So I would have 2/3. Top and bottom of that were both divisible by 2 as well, but I always want to pick the biggest divisor that I can. So that's how you simplify or reduce fractions.